If you live in or near a high crime dangerous area, then you may have to contend with transient, unjust criminal aggressors. That is a thing in those neighborhoods. Hey guys, retired Lieutenant Todd Heaton here with Humilitas First. I'll break this down based upon what I'm seeing, and then I'll offer a few tips. This first guy's hands are free swinging. Free swinging hands are good. We like that. This trailing bad guy, he's about to seize the initiative. From the very moment that he came into view of the camera, he's been reaching into his waistline, the front of his waistline. And at this point, his gun is out. It's in his right hand. If you look hard, you might be able to see that 90-degree bend in his elbow. So if you're concealed carry out in your yard and you see this, he just drew a gun from concealment. Then you know what's about to happen. He reaches up with his support hand to take hold of that top fence rail. Why? Well, he's going to jump the fence. That's a transition. Jumping the fence is a transition. Transitions are opportunities. They can be exploited. You can exploit the vulnerabilities of your adversary. How much time does it take him to complete this transition? 1.33 seconds. So if I was concealed carry and I see this developing, then now would be a good time to draw and to send rounds into his high upper chest or head area to stop the deadly threat. What that should look like is the example we see here with Matt Pranka is an example of what's possible. Mr. Pranka is a USPSA Grandmaster who's done the work. From draw to first shot on target, 1.26. I gotta ask you a question. How much time each day, how many times a week do you devote to dry firing? In a dry fire environment, clearing your garment, drawing your firearm, ready ups, and trigger pulls. Even 5 to 10 minutes daily, several times a week, can radically reduce your time for a draw to first shot, which for a beginner is going to be probably 3 seconds or longer, down to a consistent and repeatable draw to first shot nearing 1 second. Have you done the work? Even in law enforcement, our shooting standards were really low. I can't tell you how many times the instructor would say during the annual qualifications, you have plenty of time. Well, you don't have plenty of time in a deadly confrontation. You don't have 10 seconds to get 2 or 3 rounds off. Is this skill set within your capabilities? Note how the robber is standing kind of bladed with his single-handed shooting platform. Bad guys don't always present squared up like your paper target does. Plus, they tend to move around on you. A 90-degree pivot after pulling from concealment and direct alignment with me, gun in hand, with the totality of these circumstances and Miami, we have a problem. I'm going to guesstimate the distance here somewhere between 8 and 12 yards, 24 to 36 feet. I like my odds infinitely better at 8 to 12 yards, juxtaposed to my odds at 3 yards and closer. Another observation I see is bad guys don't seem to make the connection between having the firearm in alignment with their dominant eye. In this photo, see how my sights are in alignment with my dominant eye? Well, this isn't really a problem for the criminal when you're this close, unless you're panic shooting because you're being shot. It's actually pretty hard to miss at point blank or contact range. Now, if this is the first point that I see and understand I have a deadly force problem, then I'm way behind in the spin up. The idea here is to see and understand sooner. This is Miami, Florida, in July. See how the robbers have shorts on? Yet they have their hoodies up. That is to conceal their identities so that it's harder for witnesses or ring cameras that they pass by to identify them. So if I get caught not paying attention, or in some instances, the robber really is good at using blind corners, speed, surprise, and violence of action, then I'm just going to give him my chain, my wallet, or my phone and be a good witness. In other videos, I talk about the 4 times that I would choose to have that gunfight at point blank or contact range. I'm not going to cover all 4 here. I'll just say this. Say I'm with this victim and this guy starts shooting both of us. Well, just because you're shot, that doesn't mean you're dead. Shot isn't dead. Dead is dead. So my highest probability of living past this violent event is going to be to draw, ready up, and start sending rounds into his high upper chest and head to stop him from continuing to shoot me, stopping the threat. If you like this kind of content, if you find it helpful, please click on the like, subscribe, and the bell. Alright, now let's get on to the tips. If I had to temporarily live in a high crime dangerous neighborhood, emphasis on the qualifying term temporary, with the goal of moving as soon as I could afford to, first of all, I'd get really good at transitions like departures and arrivals. When I say good, I mean efficient. I wouldn't waste time in a high crime dangerous area because time often means opportunity for the unjust criminal aggressors. Second tip, because of crimes exactly like this, I'm going to prioritize and spend some of my hard-earned money paying a young man from the neighborhood or a professional lawn service to mow my yard. I'm not going to be hanging out on the front porch or in the yard. Third and last tip, for transitions like departures and arrivals, I want all of the shrubs, bushes, and trees removed to give me the longest unobstructed sight lines I can possibly have. Why? Because if I come out the front door, I want to be able to see these two guys with their hoodies up and their shorts on in July from a lot further down this road. I want to see their hands so I can see exactly when this trailing robber begins to reach for his waistline. Why? Well, that way I can just be someplace else, like, back inside my home where I can further stack the odds in my direction, should these two decide that they'd like to add home invasion to their list of charges, providing that things go their way once I get inside and strong point from a point of domination. Look, surprise, speed, and violence of action, it works for both the innocent person of goodwill and for the unjust criminal aggressors. You just need to learn how to use these principles to your advantage.